What's going on, guys? I'm Chris,
Hey guys, I'm Andy.
and today we're filming a special edition video for Star Wars Day, May the 4th. So, we're both big fans of Star Wars, despite our thoughts on the newer Disney movies. You can check out our ranking for our in-depth thoughts on that, because we're not going to be talking about those that much today. But we wanted to go through some different Star Wars categories and give you guys our favorites, because we do love this franchise despite some of the recent movies.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the new ones, they're not that good, but of course the classics are always like perfect, and I love the prequels too. So I'm excited to see what you pick in these like categories that we have.
So the first category we're going to get into here is our favorite Jedi from any Star Wars movie or TV show. And for me, it's always been this way. And my favorite Jedi is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor plays him so well in the prequels, and he's easily the standout in the prequels. And then Alec Guinness in Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, is one of the great supporting characters. He's got a lot of meaningful lines. Seeing his mentor relationship with Luke is awesome, and he even got an Oscar nom, the only acting Oscar nomination in any Star Wars movie. So he's hands down my favorite Jedi. I love him. What about you?
Yeah, it's really funny that you picked that because I actually have the same exact pick. And I was thinking about it earlier. Like, obviously, Luke is the basic answer, and Rey is a good character too, but no way she's my favorite. But Obi-Wan, especially Obi-Wan from the prequels, that's what I'm thinking of when I say that. Ewan McGregor, like, he might be my favorite Star Wars character overall. So, I mean, his character worked really well. His acting is super good in that role. And his character arc, I love it a lot. And then, of course, in the end, he has to make the hard choice, but it's super good. Definitely my favorite Jedi.
I'd say some honorable mentions, though, are definitely Master Yoda. I like Qui-Gon in The Phantom Menace, and like you said, Luke. Those are all, like, really top-tier Jedi.
Mace Windu, he's a badass too.
He is the purple lightsaber.
I love it.
But the next category we're going to get into is our favorite Sith. So the opposite of the Jedi. And for me, I wonder if we have the same one. We could. My favorite Sith is only in one Star Wars movie. He's in like the Clone Wars though, and that is Darth Maul. Just the shot of him from the Phantom Menace with the Duel of the Fates playing and the double-bladed lightsaber, it's iconic. And I even had like this sweater with Darth Maul on it when I was a kid because I love him. He's slightly underdeveloped, but he's just such a cool character, and he's become an iconic part of the Star Wars lore, and that's one of the best scenes in the Phantom Menace. So yeah, he's probably my favorite Sith.
Yeah, I mean, Darth Maul, he's a badass, and that's a good pick. I love him in Solo. I'm playing. But, I mean, this was hard for me to think of, but really it is another prequel character, and it's got to be Anakin Skywalker in episode 2 and 3 specifically. Seeing Anakin like develop, I know everybody hates Hayden Christensen, but I mean I like the prequels more than like most people. So for me, he's like definitely up there for them. And I mean, especially in episode 3, his character just like really turns to the dark side, and I liked him a lot.
So like Anakin / Darth Vader when he's like in the turning stages.
Yeah, I'm mostly thinking of like episode 2 and 3. That's
Yeah.
when I picture it.
That's a good pick. I like the scene in Clones when he slaughters the Tusken Raiders.
That's a dark scene.
Yeah.
And when he kills the kids,
hmm
I don't like that, but I mean, it's like
Yeah.
downfall right there.
Yeah, but the next category is favorite overall hero from the Star Wars universe. And this one was hard for me because there's so many great protagonists in the Star Wars universe, but it really came down to one, and that is Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford. He's just the smuggler. He's so iconic, and I'll never forget the first time I watched the first Star Wars movie, his introduction in the cantina. It was the unedited version, the original version on VHS, when he just blew Greedo away, and then he said, sorry about the mess, and he flips the coin to the bartender. An iconic entrance, and he's just a great character. I think he's probably a lot of people's favorites, but yeah, Han Solo is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, Han Solo, Harrison Ford, he's great, of course. I mean, I almost picked him, but I had to pick the person by his side who never gets any credit, Chewbacca. He's a great hero. I mean, he's in pretty much every movie. Well, not the prequels, but I mean, he is in episode 3, but he always does something big in every movie he's in. And I mean, notably, he didn't get the medal in episode 4, and then episode 9, like the fan service they gave it to him. I feel like he doesn't get his credit, so I had to give him what he deserves, you know? He's a badass, though. I love his crossbow, too.
Yeah, he's got like the best banter, like because the lines that Han always bounces off of him, they're just so funny.
Yeah, and he was literally like one of the only saving graces about Solo for me, Chewbacca, because I mean Han Solo was like a different actor, but Chewbacca is always the same, you know?
Yeah, Chewie's like he's iconic. I mean, you gotta love him.
Yeah.
So I think the next category is favorite overall villain.
Yeah.
So you want to go first?
Yeah, I will. And for me, this one, it was really hard to decide. Actually, it wasn't that hard, but for me, like someone who I've always liked in Star Wars as a villain is Boba Fett, and that's what I'm picking here because I just love his look. I love what he like does in Episode 5 and 6. Obviously, those are his only 2 movies. Well, he is in 4, but it's like deleted stuff that Lucas added. But I mean, Boba Fett, his like relationship with Han is great, and then how he's like the bounty is cool, like the OG Mandalorian kind of, the
Yeah.
first one was in it, and I just love his look. That's like one of the main reasons why I'm picking him. But I hope he flies out of the Sarlacc pit. Like I feel like we'll see him sometime in Mandalorian.
So my favorite Star Wars villain is probably the most iconic character out of Star Wars, and that is Darth Vader. He's just such a badass, and the silhouette of him can be recognized by almost anyone in the world, I think. But really seeing his transformation from the little boy on Tatooine all the way to Darth Vader, the big baddie of the Star Wars universe, is awesome. As much as I don't like Rogue One, really, I think that his scene is epic, and it's definitely the best part of the movie. But he has some of the best lines and dialogue in like the whole entire franchise, and I just love this character so much.
Yeah, I mean that's a great pick. I almost picked him, but I just want to be different,
Yeah. So now we're going to get on to our favorite movie in all of the Star Wars universe. And if you've been watching our channel for a while, you already know this from our recent Star Wars ranking, which you guys can check out. The link will be above. But for me, it's the original Star Wars, Episode 4, New Hope, the first Star Wars movie I ever saw, and it launched this whole entire universe that spans like 40 years now, I think, or more. It is such a fun space adventure. All the characters are great, and I could gush about it forever, but yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah, great pick. That's my second favorite Star Wars movie. It was my favorite for a long time, but I mean, Episode 5 for me is the best. That's the one that I would watch on May the 4th if I had to, and I mean, I probably will because it's so good. I mean, everything about it is entertaining. It starts off great in Hoth. I love Hoth. That's like my favorite like Star Wars planet, and then like of course the banter with Han Solo and Princess Leia in that movie is like peak, I think, and like that iconic scene, "I love you, I know," and then those final like 20 minutes on Bespin are just like the best in Star Wars for me. And Boba Fett's in that movie a lot, and I like him in that.
Yeah, I'd argue, or I wouldn't even argue. I think it's a fact that that's the most quotable Star Wars movie. Like, especially the lines where he's like, "Never tell me the odds" when they're in the asteroid field, and "No, I am your father." All that stuff. Like, it's so great.
That scene, like when they're on the walk on Bespin, so iconic. And I mean, we talk about it more in depth in our Star Wars video, but I love that moment.
Oh yeah. And I know we're going to have the same pick for this next category. Favorite Star Wars TV show. I'll give an honorable mention because I used to watch the Clone Wars when I was younger. I haven't been keeping up with the new season, but The Mandalorian. Like, come on. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's crazy that there's only one season of it, and it's already our favorite Star Wars show, but it's that good. I mean, most people have had to see it. Baby Yoda, the child, so cute. He makes
Pedro Pascal is the Mandalorian. He's cementing himself as one of the best Star Wars characters, and I can't wait to see what they do in season 2 with Giancarlo Esposito's character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for Gus to be the villain, Giancarlo. I mean, he has the Darksaber at the end. I think that's what it's called, and I'm really hyped for season 2.
The next category we're going to get into is our favorite trilogy. We're probably going to have the same here. The original trilogy, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it is, but the prequels are very close. I'm really starting to like the prequels. It's like more and more every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's the original trilogy for sure for me. I mean, I've seen those movies countless times. The prequels would be my second favorite, and the sequels would be last. So the last category we're going to get down to is a big one. Favorite lightsaber battle in all of Star Wars. And I'm going to give like a few honorable mentions because I think that's warranted here because this is such an important category. But some honorable mentions for me would be the Duel of the Fates fight at the end of The Phantom Menace with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. The battle on Bespin between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, and the other honorable mention would be the final fight in Return of the Jedi between Vader and Luke. But my favorite lightsaber battle has to be Obi-Wan versus Anakin in Revenge of the Sith on Mustafar. It is beyond iconic, and it's what the entire prequel trilogy was building up to, and this fight delivered, and the score really enhanced it.
Yeah, 100% agree. That is my favorite fight in Star Wars lightsaber battle. I mean, the emotion is there, and that's like the peak of the trilogy right there. That's like what it all came down to. And it really delivered. Episode 3, that fight on Mustafar is my favorite battle for sure. Lightsaber battle. I mean, the emotion is there, and it's what it all led up to, and it really paid off. George Lucas did a great job, like super underrated like director with that prequel. I mean, it's not like anything spectacular, but like he did a great job, and especially in that scene, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, their acting was really good. It really paid off.
Yeah, I absolutely love the lines of dialogue they have leading up to the fight itself. Like, whew, I
Yeah,
get
it's a great
chills.
spectacle too.
Mhm.
Another really good fight, like honorable mention that I would say that to add on to yours, I agree with all those as well, especially the Bestman one. But also another one I'd add is Rey and Kylo Ren in Episode 7 in the forest. I think that's probably the best of the sequel trilogy. It happened in the first one, but that's a great fight, I think, especially when she gets the lightsaber.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the snow aesthetic, and then when she forces the lightsaber, I still get chills every time. Like I still like The Force Awakens, and that moment is great. I think that's gonna be a wrap for our Star Wars May the 4th video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like this video and definitely comment like all your favorite Jedi, Siths, favorite movie, favorite lightsaber battle down below. We'd really be interested to hear what you guys think on that because I know there's a lot of different opinions in the Star Wars fan base. So yeah, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. We've got a lot of videos coming in the future, possible collabs, etc. So yeah, just be on the lookout. And until next time, see you guys later, and may the 4th be with you.
See you guys. Happy May the 4th.